Well, sounds like the microphone works. That's one thing. Can't even really see that in the picture, can you? I have a comb in here that I use for this too. But I'm going to start by just kind of wicking it off, just trying to wipe out the moisture. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. My name is Calvin. I haven't seen anything come through the chat yet, so if you said something, I apologize, but welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Calvin. Please be a subscriber so you can participate. That's pretty normal for my channel, either subscribers or members only. Right. Welcome. Yeah, I can't see nothing on my end here. Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday to everybody. Unless you're on the other side of the international date line, which would make it Saturday. So happy Saturday, if that's the case. This is a worldwide thing. Worldwide. Feel free to ask a question. You know, if you want to know what's going on, totally understand that. I'm gonna wring this out now. Doesn't seem like there's much hair slippage on here, so that's a good thing. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. This is a white-tailed deer hide here. This was a buck, a large male here. I want to say he was like, you know, is this the larger male? This may be the smaller male here that I have. Roadkill. I did not kill this animal, but I do pick them up pretty fresh. So if somebody's just killed them, I pretty much know it. There needs to be an app for that, I think. Maybe I can develop that application. iOS friendly. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to dry this hide. It's been in a veg tannin bath for about a week or so. That's about right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse my process, change it up, double back, and I'm going to actually brain tan this the rest of the way. So I veg tanned it in a tannin solution. You can see it's like a butternut color now on the flesh side, or it's got a lot of hair from other things losing their hair. So I pulled it out of the bath, and I'm going to dry it as much as possible here. Then I'm going to kind of scrape it, flesh it one last time, and then I'm going to apply a brain-based emulsion that looks like a strawberry milkshake that melted, but it's not. And then I'm gonna build some kind of a thing that's gonna hold it over the smoker. I'm not gonna put a lot of hold it over a fire. I'm not gonna put a lot of effort into that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. All I want is to basically lightly smoke it. Then I'll age it again. I'll dry it some more, and then I'll work brain into it and do the same thing again. Here's a spot where the flesh was coming off, and I pulled so you can see how much tanning was actually done by the tannin bath. shout out to all my friends and folks out there. It is a different time for me to stream, but I got a little busy this morning, so I had to do that. But you can see there. And then also I'm going to do the same thing with this muskrat pelt here. I want to keep the hair. It seemed to have been losing some of the hair, but now I think it's set. So we're going to do the same thing with the muskrat pelt. I'm going to use a brain emulsion on that as well, and that'll get smoked also. So a lot of hair, kind of loose hair on here from the bath, but we can deal with that, right? Not a problem. Not a problem. Then I got to take this very large doe hide off of this thing, and I need to scrape this hide right here, but I don't want to touch the salt and stuff. I don't want to get salty with the raccoon hides or this hide. You don't want to see me get salty, folks. You don't want to see me get salty. Who do we got here? Just hits one. Hi, he says. Hi, just hits. All right, so I'm going to dry it just a little bit more. Let me see if I got my comb over here. I might push the comb through it a couple times if I have that. I also have like toothbrushes I could probably use. That's probably even a better method. Take a toothbrush through it. See how that works. Like almost like dog toothbrushes here. It just helps wick the water away. This was what was recommended to me. Fan and even a cold blow dryer. So I'm trying to get some air under the hair over there to spare the hair. You know. Brush it out, brush it out. It's working actually. And I don't hate it. Seems to be gentle too. That's what I want. Very gentle. The other one bit on the hair follicles and pulled them out. Welcome, welcome. My name's Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. Right now I'm kind of brushing the hair of this white-tailed deer hide that's been in a tannin liqueur for about a week. But based on what I've seen and read, and you see how the whites have turned a off-white color, I don't want to ruin the hide by tanning it and ruin the fur if I can, because I'm not going to do many more of these fur-on hides. Just a couple of them, just for warmth, for some garments. And so I want to make sure I keep all my fur I can on these. I want to be as careful as possible. And I know in that tannin bath, they can lose hair over time. Looks like some's coming off the belly here, but we're not going to keep that belly for the most part anyway. I noticed that belly leather doesn't come out as thick as other parts of the body. Like the back, the leather on the back is very thick. Like what you would see, you know, not quite cowhide, but what you would see in that area. Carrie, welcome. Carrie, friend of the program. Yes, folks, we do have members. Carrie is one of them. Thank you to all my members. If you want to become a member of my channel, that little $sign in the bottom corner, click that and become a member. I'm doing great. Carrie said, how are you doing today? I say, I'm doing fantastic. Carrie, happy Friday to you. Thanks for being here. Big time friend of the program, Carrie. We love to have her in here. Didn't know if any of my folks would be able to pop in on a Friday evening. For you, it's more like lunchtime, actually. But over there on the West Coast, it's like just after lunchtime. Here, it's kind of, the day is kind of winding down, especially if you're lazy. Start winding down at 4 something, right? And wind down if you want to. Like I said, this is a muskrat pellet. It's been through the same process. So you can see it's, and there's a, sorry, I make mistakes. That happens. It's like a butternut color. It's been in the tannin for about a week. And what I'm going to do, and Carrie's seen this thing since the beginning, and you can see the whites on the muskrat hair are turning a tan. I don't love that either. I hear it's not highly desirable. So I'll go with what I'm told, and I will flip back, and we will do some brain tanning with both of these two hides. I've never heard of anybody bark and brain tanning together, but I have heard that it can work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wring this hide out as much as possible here. Get all the water I can out of it. And as you move your hands down the hide, especially if you have it on a beam, it'll actually draw the water out. I want to get it, I'm not going to get it dry. It's going to be moist regardless, irregardless. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I've got this brain emulsion in here and I want to kind of get it while it's still a little bit on the warm side. It's made with the brain, deer brain, egg yolk, coconut oil, a couple other random oils. I used arnica oil and peppermint oil, oregano oil, some of those. I have a mixture of those already put together. That's going to go on the other side, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to really be careful to like emulsify it on my hands all the way first, right? Get it on my hands and then apply it very evenly. Last time I slopped it on. We're not going to do that this time. What do we got down in the chat? We got Shannon Stewart, 5680. I didn't bring my reading glasses out here, my own old man glasses. Maybe I have to have Heather deliver those to me. Shannon, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. I hope that didn't just rip that. It was over my vise there. All right, so butternut color we got now. I was like, man, I think I can do this here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work some, I might even try to see if there's a way I can scrape off this. I said I was going to do a light scraping, so we'll do that too. I'm going to put this on top of the antler so that it actually can air out from the underside. I got a fan over here going. Definitely putting these in the brine, the pickling bath for extra time. Like these sat in the pickle for 3 to 4 days. I feel like it made them nice and soft. These hides are really soft and fluffy. Maybe a little too much so, but I still haven't come up with a really great way to get these hairs off. I think they just kind of come off in time. On my recent piece of finished leather, they were not on there anymore, and they were on throughout the whole process. So I was worried they would be a problem. Oh, I can tell you, you all can definitely do this. You can definitely do this. You just have to have a little bit of a stomach. It just takes a little bit of intestinal fortitude to do this. I think I didn't start this, but recently, you know, this is a recent hobby. It's kind of like once I wanted to segue into some nice clothing or a skill that I can use, you know, in the world. All of these are skills, ancient skills too, that were kind of passed down to us. In some ways, they were just the world went into a mechanized, fast, and kind of environmentally unsound way of making leather, and that's called chrome tanning. So if you don't know anything about it, that's most of the leather that you're wearing, even the leather you're buying from fine leather goods that's not fake. Like most of Louis Vuitton materials are canvas. They're no longer even leather. They might call them a leather. I don't even know how you can call stuff leather that's not, but you can apparently. And then some of the most expensive designer bags are made with fake leather outright. And not even, they can say it's for political or ethical reasons, but it's not. It's because it's cheap and they make a huge profit off of it. They can sell their name and not the item, the quality of the item. What do we got here? We got, Watch Mountain Men. There's an old man there that shows you how to get the hairs off hides. Yeah, watch that show. I think you're talking about the man with the beard. Yeah, this is not the. I'm not trying to take the pelt off. I'm trying to get these loose hairs off the hides. He probably burns them off on that show too. I think I know you're talking about Tom. I think is his name. The old man. The old man. He makes goods for other people around. Like this is a skill he uses to make a little bit of money. He'll make bows too. He makes recurve bows. He makes quivers for people's arrows. That's what holds your arrows. If you're a bow hunter or a archer, you don't have to be a bow hunter to shoot a bow. You can just shoot at a target. It's called being an archer. Everything's not political, believe it or not, man. Everything is not political. Some things are just basic humanity, you know, like following the rules and getting things the right way, doing what's being a steward of the environment and not damaging the environment when it's not necessary, getting things the ethical way, right? Conservationism doesn't mean not hunting. It means hunting the right way, right? Conservationism doesn't mean fishing. It means fishing the right way. People think they get the terms confused. A lot of kids I've popped on this channel and said, I want to hunt. I've never killed an animal. Well, that's not really the purpose. You go out, you learn the skill, and you hang out with the old guys, and you have fun with the old guys. And sometimes you take something home, and sometimes you don't. You know. Tippity tap that like button. I got 30 likes right now. But Daniel Posey, don't apologize. Use painter's tape. Oh, there you go. I think you even got some of that around here. But I think I might have brought it inside, unfortunately. It's a good idea. Just like a lint roller, I think would probably do it. The other thing I took was like a tacky cloth. A cloth that has like a little bit of moisture in it seemed to work. Maybe dry. Yeah, not the hairs on the hide so much as the hairs that have stuck to the flesh side is what I'm trying to deal with right now, so that I want it to be as clean as possible here. Other thing I could do is probably just try to wash it with clean water. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a real great source of clean water in here, and I don't want to get it much more wet than it already is. I'm going to gamble on the hairs not really getting in the way. And when I put it over the smoker, maybe they'll singe off or something. Put it over the fire, etc. Maybe they'll singe off of there. But I want to do this now because I'm going to run out of time with my my brain emulsion here. It's a thawed milkshake, right? I've considered letting it dry, yeah, but I got too many things in the process right here to actually. I got too many things that, like, I don't know how to. It's like I got a leather factory going on here and don't have any space to dry this right now, so it's gonna have to go from tacky to moisturized to being smoked to being rolled up, and then I have to work it every day. That's gonna have to happen because right now I got all my boards and stuff are kind of occupied. And with a deer hide, it takes quite a big board, but obviously an excellent idea. Hey, just found your channel and subscribe. Much respect to you. I used to be a trapper and always loved watching you guys do this. Yeah, appreciate it. Not a trapper right now. Don't have my trapper's license. Most of this is roadkill. I am a hunter, and I do have a hunter's license. But this at the moment is mostly roadkill. Yep. So what you're looking at right now. What I try to find is the ones that like right near my house where I know I've been there the previous day, so I know about the time of death. Also, I'm becoming something of a animal forensic anthropologist because today I found a doe, and when I skinned her insides were eviscerated, meaning the guts had broken open, and so her fecal material had spilled into the body cavity. Not pleasant. Um, and I know where she last ate. I know who fed her. She was fed because the corn inside of her digestive system was dried corn. This is not like something she ate off the cob, or if she ate it off a cob, it was dried by humans. And so she was fed that corn. So I know that the last thing that she ate was, I know exactly where she was. So you can kind of follow a path from where she was until where she got hit. Get a fan that blows heat, says he. But appreciate you. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for trappers too, man. I've definitely known my share of trappers. Know a ton of hunters, but I have known a couple of trappers. They're not as plentiful. Ooh, it's nice and warm too. So yeah, this is brain, egg yolk, olive oil, and then a few other things in there. And I'm gonna emulsify it on my hands. That's what we don't want that to spill. Emulsify it on my hands and get it all over my hands because it's even distribution that we want, right? We want even distribution, not oily. So I'm also oiling my finished leather with the same thing. If you watched my channel the other day, you could have caught that. Emulsifying, getting all over my hands here. That's quite a bit. That's kind of a heavier amount. I want it evenly, like I said, even application. That's what I'm understanding is the most important part here. And I'm trying not to over. And actually, a somewhat wet pelt is actually kind of a good way to apply it. Now, as I get hair on my hands here, I'll rub it off. And I've got a rag back here that I'm using. So as I can, I'm taking off hair. Yeah, so at the moment, this is a combo of combination of bark and brain tanning here. These were bark tanned for a couple weeks, and now I'm giving them a brain tanning so that I can save the hair. I'm having problems with retaining hair in bark tanning. It's not really meant for keeping hair on. I want this to be supple and be able to be used as a jacket or something, you know. And I'm not going to do a whole lot more hides like this where the hair is on. So I want to make sure these ones are real supple, real comfortable, real warm. I also use neat's foot oil. I should include that. I boiled deer hocks, which are the lower legs, in order to get the cannon bone, which is what I use to scrape with, that you just saw. This is cannon bone. When I remove these and I cook them up, I take the marrow out and I mix that with the neat's foot oil, and I use that as well because it's a very like unique textured oil. Very it seems like it has emulsifiers in it, which is it beads up tiny on the water. You kind of want a oil or a fat that beads up tiny on the water, you know, and you want something to help that happen. That's an emulsifying agent. Egg yolk, brain, there's some other things too, and I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head. But egg yolks and brain are two of the ones I know for a fact do that. Also, I do believe there is an animal product that's used in most lotions called stearic acid, which is usually derived from internal organs of animals. Didn't know this till recently. I like my sled at an angle. Bye. You should use your brain to do stuff besides clown people on their YouTube live streams. Goodbye. Yeah, man. Kevin says, I'm a hunter, just unable to go do that at his age, I believe is what he's saying. I appreciate the younger generation. Keep it alive. Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, I got you. No problem, dude. Yeah, this is what we love to do here. Uh, and I will always encourage people to always follow the law and also your own moral compass. If you're not a person who wants to go out and hunt and you just can't, it's hard for you to tell the person that you don't want to do it. You don't want to break somebody's heart because daddy wants you to go do it or whatever. It's not your thing. I always tell people, follow your heart. Tell your dad, tell your grandpa, tell your uncle, whoever it is that you don't want to go. It's not your thing. That's okay. Just like it is my thing. I like this stuff. It's okay if it's not. I used to tell my students that I taught in the country for many years in the public schools. I say I don't mind seeing a kid who grew up here who doesn't want to go out and kill deer. Like that's okay. It makes you different around here, in a city, in an urban area or a suburban area, for a kid to say I want to go out in the woods and get in a deer stand and hunt, that's a little more rare. But in a country, it's considered like a rite of passage. And so the boys or whatever, and even girls sometimes, I've known a lot of girls to go out and get their first turkey or their first deer at 8, 9, or 10 with their dad. So it's not just limited to boys. I never saw one of those kids say, but I knew ones that should say, hey, you know what, this isn't my thing, Dad. I'm more into music or whatever it may be. That could happen, man. I was a music teacher, so I had parents at this time of year come in and try to lie to me. I knew exactly, especially the fathers. I never had any contact with them. And the father would come into my classroom it would be like right before the winter concert, right? Like I said, I was a music teacher. So some of y'all might have recent experience with going to your kids' concerts or maybe a concert yourself if you're a kid and you shouldn't be on here. And they would come in and they would usually say, we have a family thing that we do this time of year. This would be what they said. And I would say, oh, a family thing, huh? Yeah, I mean, death in the family and, religious holidays are excuses to not be at the concert. Oh, no, we just got this kind of thing that we do. And I know exactly what it was. What do y'all think it was? Dad's going to take that boy deer hunting, and it was scheduled for the same day we had the concert. And if it wasn't, it got scheduled for that day. It changed schedules. This is working. This rag is pulling the hairs off. So I'm going to use that method. Yeah, Carrie was one of those girls. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, he probably was on his way out. People hating because they can't stain the numbers. Hey, and that sled is supposed to be at an angle. I purposely put the hooks off a line. I know how to use the level. Dumbass. But he got my attention for 5 seconds. So when you're a very desperate, pathetic human being, that's what you do. I remember radio shows, and I would wonder why these radio shows would cuss out these people that would call. And I know why now. They would call every day, and it was the equivalent of trolling in the 80s and 90s, and probably before that, for you to call a radio station and argue with a talk radio host. Right? That was the equivalent of what trolling on live streams is now. That's it in the 80s or 90s. Now, arguing a legitimate thing. I remember one time I called Mike and Mike. It was a sports radio show, Mike Golick, and I was on the air for a good amount of time. And I remember, I won't get into what I was arguing about, but they argued with me, man. Some of the shows would just you would hear just a bunch of beeps, right? And then the person would be gone. And it would take the radio host a second to recover because, artistic people, radio hosts, etc., fiery people generally. That guy with the comment, his eyes were crooked. Most people put things like sleds in their shop slanted. It looks better that way, right? I agree. I agree. I could have put it level if I wanted, man. You know, I wouldn't have stood up there and put all of, they're obviously way offline. Actually, I put them in two different places in case I'm set up differently. Both of them are at like a 30-degree angle. I thought it looked best at an angle. It's not Cracker Barrel. I don't need to like patchwork in and fit every grandma's portrait on there that corporate sent over and all of the other things. The manual corn cobber or whatever it is they want to put on their trinket wall. That's not too bad. You take a little bit more of this brain emulsion and do it. I want an even distribution of this oil, and as I'm working this, I'm noticing a lot of hair on here. It's kind of getting in the way of my oil. So then my MO is then to get it off of there. And I think tape would work if it wasn't so wet. Maybe if Heather's listening and she has a minute. Not right now, not in a rush, but I do have some painter's tape. Maybe that would work, like Daniel said. We'll call you DP, Daniel Posey. That's what we do. We give nicknames to our people. Like KF, that's Carrie. Carrie's like, I don't have a nickname. That's true. We don't give nicknames to everybody. But we got another Daniel Gandar, so we're going to call you DP for now. DP. Everybody has ownership here. We embrace everybody. Drop something in the chat. Let us know something. Say hello. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. We're working on this whitetail deer pelt here. This is from a buck, a younger buck, probably a 2-year-old. Not a yearling, not a spike, but probably a 2-year-old buck who was unfortunately killed by a vehicle not far from my domicile. You like how I use big words unnecessarily? You like how I utilize larger words unnecessarily? Oh, it's Luke. Hello, everyone. This is Luke McGlynn White from Dublin, Ireland, waving at you all. Hello, Calvin. Greetings to everybody in the top of the evening to you. Actually, to him, what time is it? What time is it over there in Ireland? Oh, it's about like 11. It's like almost midnight over there. Luke is here. Welcome, Luke. What's that? Conan O'Brien went to Ireland. Conan, it's like a Conan Go Home or something, whatever show is called. I forget. Some of the Irish expressions they use at the bars and stuff are really funny. The Irish can be quite irreverent people. When you get a drink or two in them, which is all the time. No, I don't know that everyone over there drinks. Though I've heard it could be a little bit of a problem. Yeah, the other day I said, what's that Irish sport? Curling? Where they have the sticks. It's kind of like lacrosse, and they got a ball. It's kind of like field hockey a little bit. He's like, no, curling is a sport that you push a puck across the ice. I was like, yeah, that is curling. You're right. It's hurling, the Irish sport. Look it up, hurling. Very popular sport in Ireland. Get some Irish culture. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that Conan, it's Conan, and he just like kind of shows up. He goes to his fans. He shows up at their door. And shout out Conan O'Brien if you're watching me dismantle animals. I'm sure he is. I'm sure that's exactly what Conan O'Brien would do on a night like this. Also, Ron Swanson. I want to shout out Ron Swanson if he's happening to watch these right now too. My hero, Nick Offerman here. Maybe he'll pop through one of these days. I've had a couple of people, you know, I made videos, and then the people I made videos about contacted me. So I feel like if you try hard enough at this stuff, you get to you say their name, you can manifest them, you know. So I'm gonna say it, Ron Swanson. And since Nick Offerman is just another kind of, I mean, Ron Swanson, honestly, it's kind of like part of his personality. I know it's a fake character, but it's like kind of really him. So Nick Offerman, we'll call you that if you want. Come on, pop through. Hopefully he'll pop through. He'll start watching live streams one of these days. Yes. Yes, yes, sir. And ma'am. Equal opportunity. But definitely. Maybe Nick Offerman will be like bored and on his phone watching how to bark in brain tan leather. He needs a new leather seat for one of his custom canoes. I bet he has a YouTube channel, right? I never even looked. He makes canoes. He's actually a woodworker. I wonder if does he have a YouTube channel, or is this just something he does like Adam Savage, where it's like he only takes huge endorsements to talk about his woodwork. You got to be careful not to re-swipe the rag back on the hide, because it takes the hair right back on there again. It is working though. Getting it all off is never going to happen. What I need to do now is just continue to moisturize this hide. Sorry I wasn't here this morning. I had a bunch of stuff I had to do. I had to process another animal too. That sometimes takes me a while. Thank you for the likes. I see somebody dropped the 51st like on here. Appreciate you. We're trying to get to 4K subscribers, folks. And we're like 100 off. Not expecting it today, but we want to get to 4K subscribers. So definitely subscribe and become a member of the fam. Also, consider becoming a member. That little $sign down in the bottom. You become a member and you get in here, and all I do is shower you with affection all the time, like I do with Carrie. Just shower you with affection. And then when you're not here, talk trash. That's generally what I do. It's usually not very positive when you're not here, but you get a ton of attention, and that should be all you want, right? Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, as long as you're getting attention, right? No, I'm just kidding. We don't talk trash about you unless you deserve to have trash talked about you, in which case we do talk trash quite a bit. It can get crazy up in here. Crazy. This is the number one. Hey man, thank you Daniel Posey for the super chat. We like to do this little thing that I call an appreciation drum roll. Thank you for that super chat. That's how we live around here. Maybe I should get my snare drum and do it. Thank you so much. There it is right here. Let's grab the snare drum. Don't mind that bad sound that just happened. Sorry, I'm using dowels and they're short. Thank you. Daniel Posey. DP. $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. New member of the fam. There we go. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Heather, make that man DP a mod if you're in here. Make that man a moderator. There's a little spot right here that I regret. This is right on the spine. You can sometimes see there's some really clinging subdermal tissue on the spine of deer and also other animals. I'm noticing on other animals too. This is a big thing for me, man. I didn't like do a lot of taking of animals apart. Even the hunters I've talked to, a lot of them throw this part out. So this is a part that's thrown out that has a lot of value, man. A hide that's properly tanned and turned into leather could be a lot of do a lot of awesome things. Create a lot of long-lasting pieces. Let me continue this moisturization here of this hide, which is what we got. This is a whitetail deer hide. Let me show you what it looks like. Boom. And it's starting to get a little bit drier. That's good. We want to kind of, I wrang it out. It was in the tannin bath. You can see it's a a butternut color because it's been in a bark tanning bath for about a week. It was in a pickling bath before that so that it could swell up and accept the tannins. And then before that, it was salted and dried and stretched. So right now, it hasn't been in a bark tanning bath long enough to tan it. Not even close. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to switch it up, y'all. I'm going to switch it, and I'm going to moisturize this with brain, and I'm going to smoke this hide. It's going to get smoked over a very low fire and with a very crude way of holding it up. I'm not going to put it on a stretcher, I don't think. Maybe I should, though, because as it smokes and dries, it's going to want to come inward. Maybe I should take some time and make sure that I build a rack that can hold it up properly. Got to think about that. Maybe I should take a vote on that. By the way, Calvin, I gave you and Heather a shout out recently. I did see that. Thank you very much, Luke. All shout outs are appreciated, too. Everything. This is social media, as you know. We appreciate that very much. Thank you so much, Luke, over there in Ireland. We love our international folks, too. We love our international fam. I'm emulsifying it on my hands, meaning spreading it out right over the surface, and then rubbing it in kind of lightly into the this is the flesh side. So this was the body side of the deer. I want to make sure I get it all the way to the edges. If you were here the other day, you would have seen me doing this to an actually finished piece of leather that tanned for a month. That one is rolled up right now. I'm working that kind of privately a little bit every day. Actually, I'll let it go for a couple of days and try to dry. I don't want it to get too sopping wet with oils. You can over oil too. Hence the reason that I'm actually taking this stuff and emulsifying it on my hands first before I touch the hide. Right? Continental Men says you better take your time. You'll be mad you didn't. I am taking my time, man. I'm taking my time. This already, like I said, has been in a tannin bath for a week. It's not that I don't want to continue the tannin bath. I want to continue that, but I'm afraid of losing the hair in the process. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm actually going to add some alum on here too. I'm going to put some alum on this hide because it's not going to get re-washed unless I feel like it needs to get limed or baited or something like that. And I don't think I'm going to do that because I'm keeping the hair, right? Different process. It's not typical to bark tan hides that the hair is left on. And so as I read more and more, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to do something that's a little bit, uncharted. Like either people take the fur and take the hair off using a bucking, using a lime solution or a lye, or they use a brain tanning solution and they brain tan it or taunt it using alum, right? They don't do both. So this is kind of like a combination of both. And the reason I came to this conclusion was that I was losing hair in my muskrat pelt. So what I want to try to do is see if I can preserve that hair in that muskrat pelt. Seems to be what's losing the hair. And I know that everybody's going to say, if you know what you're talking about, you're going to say, well, more salt, you need to salt it, you need to use alum. There's so many ways people say to lock the hair in, right? Some of those work. Some of them I've noticed, if it's already like wanting to slip, the hair is already wanting to slip, it's going to come out. So this is like an emergency procedure to try to keep the hair in both of these two hides. It's not me rushing at all. I'm not rushing. I don't do rush. Check my channel out, man. Check out any of my other material. I spent a year building 2 beds. Jose Pollo, welcome. Build that stretch rack. Okay. All right. That's what you were responding to. I understand. Some people are people of few words. I maybe should do that. Maybe you're right. Maybe that is cutting a corner I shouldn't cut. I can do that. It's something I can do. So we will build a stretch rack. Yeah, and I don't want to lose anything, man. I know how to listen to my elders and people with experience as well. And not all the people with experience are my elders, but they are when it comes to this trade. So if you know what you're talking about, I'm listening. I'm a brain picker, and I hear you all day, Continental. Appreciate that you dropping that without being. Don't be shy. If you have an opinion about something like that, drop it. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you know what you're talking about, and it sounds like you do. I don't want to over oil it here. I'm trying to emulsify. This is brain. I'll go through it again. It's brain, egg yolk, a little bit of coconut oil, um, and some olive oil right here. I take as much brain from as much animal as I can. Sometimes though, on my recent animals, I have not harvested the brain. Just didn't have time. The animal had other things going on. You know, obviously, especially if you're taking roadkill, you see a lot of evisceration of internal organs. It's really hard to stomach for a lot of people. Luke, thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you, everybody. Check out Luke's channel. I think he's got cool stuff there. Double tap that screen like my live stream, and then pop into Luke's channel and check out Luke's channel and see what he's got going on over there in Dublin. Luke will teach anyone to speak Irish too. He has said this. He's willing to teach anyone who is willing to speak Irish, which is a very difficult, treasured language, almost lost to history, right? But Luke is willing to teach anyone. Great guy, man. Luke McGlynn White. Thanks for being here, Luke. I still have oils on my hand, so I'm just kind of distributing it through the whole pelt. I'm trying to keep this away from the salt. My bench is so salty and stuff. It's going to get salt on here again. I don't really want that on here. I'll roll it up for tonight. Like Continental said, I'll build the stretch rack. Like I'll put something in there. It's going to be cold enough out here. It's fine for it tonight. I'll keep it up off the floor so nothing comes in to eat it. But the tannins kind of keep the animals from liking the taste. That's one of the positive things about tannins. We'll roll it up and we'll build a stretch rack probably tomorrow. I got to find some wood in here that's appropriate for that. Probably some ripped plywood might be what I need to do. I also have slabs, but I don't want to really use slabs for that. I got some smaller boards over there I think I'll probably use. I also had a wood bender. It would have been a perfect situation for me to use a wood bender to make a hoop, right? But my wood bender malfunctioned on me, so I don't have that anymore. Let's keep it moving here. I'm going to just put one. I'm going to go over this one more time. I'm going to roll it up. I'm going to put it aside, and then I'm going to do the muskrat that I got here. It's kind of oddly cut because the way I cut this muskrat was right behind the neck and over the legs and then over the back because of the trauma that was on the muskrat. So what you have is basically a long, thin, slender belly and back loop of hide. It is almost the whole muskrat hide, but it kind of looks funny. And I recently separated it so it could tan better. It's in a strip. But I really want to keep the fur on that because muskrat pelts are warm, and muskrat fur is waterproof. So I feel like this would make a great lining. Lining for gloves or a collar or a hood or something. So probably needs to be scraped a little bit. Same deal. But yeah, that's that one. And we'll make the hoop there, Continental. We'll make sure we don't fail ourselves. I don't want to fail myself. I like my hides, and I like to make sure that I do things the right way. I have another one, though, that needs to be tacked up that I took today. So it is a process where I've got a lot of things moving through, and trying to make sure they all. I could also do a laminated wood hoop, kind of like I did this thing here, but that's a lot of work right there. honestly, I think the whites kind of came back to white as it dried a bit. The bark tannins didn't affect the white parts of the fur so much. I've heard a lot of complaints about people who have tried to bark tan with the hide on, saying that it discolored the white, but I don't really see that much on this pelt. So, but it's not fully tanned either, so that's probably why. Boom. Let's put that aside. Put the hide aside. All right. Let's do this muskrat. I've had a squirrel pelt and tannins yesterday, and I noticed the hair was slipping on it very badly. So, and I'm actually going to work this like this because that's really in the grain direction there. Um, the squirrel pelt is like all the hair slipped on it. I don't know what happened. Now, my understanding is squirrels are some of the nicest pieces of leather, so I'm really worried about it. But honestly, I think from now on it's going to be a lot less of hair on, so I'm going to have a lot less of this problem of stray hair. It's going to be mostly leather. I'm just going to make things to make finished leather. This is a let's see if there's anything in the chat. Kevin out of here. See you later, Kevin. 2291. Appreciate you being here. These what do you call these? Cannon bones from the deer's leg make awesome scrapers. It's like they're designed to do it. Everything else I've tried, including blades, it doesn't do the same job scraping as these bones do. It's really like they're built for it. And you can see it's not tanned very deep, so the tannins didn't get a chance to work that far in, and it's been in the tannin bath for a week. So you see how slow it can move. And before that, it was in a brine, a pickle brine, to allow it to soak up tannins quicker. So you can see there how bark tanning might be a very slow process. Nothing wrong with that, but it is slow. We do a lot of craft type stuff in here. Most recently, I finished timber framing or traditionally joining a bunk bed. That was my last huge project. I did one before that as well. So I made a prototype build, timber frame, no nails, no screws, no fasteners, all of that. Framed the bunk bed and came up with the design myself. Took several months doing it. It's all documented on the live. Keep dropping my tool here. I think it's cold out here. So if you're into that kind of stuff too, check out my videos. And I collect, seems like there's a lot of like hush hush kind of gatekeeping about what people use to tan hides. So I've been very clear about what materials I use to bark tan. Some like Skill Cult and some of those other ones, he'll tell you what he does, but he's super unclear about how he does things. It's a little gatekeepy. No offense, Skill Cult. Shout out if you're watching. I love your videos, but you're kind of mean. So guy came on his program with all these hides, and all he did was just tear it to shreds the whole time. How bad they were. God forbid he was ever on here. That guy's hides were like 100 times better than mine. Skill Cult. Shout out Skill Cult. Now he breeds apples. He's probably gotten more play from me in the last couple of days than anything else. But yeah, he's pretty much an apple breeder now. If you drop comments on his tanning, you may or may not get a response. Now those dead kind of YouTube channels that pivot, I hate those channels, man. Why do people pivot? What's wrong with people? Yeah, people guard information, especially back in the day. Uh, guild trades like tanning. They put them on the edge of town. They say it was because of the smell. I think the guys who tanned liked being on the edge of town. I was telling Heather this today because it kept people from learning how they were doing what they did, and they made some money doing it. They were, tanning was absolutely a necessity if you wanted warm clothing. So, like in the Middle Ages, they were always on the edge of I forget what they call those, the bastion, the wall that goes around a castle or a village. They would have been on the very edge of that, if not outside of it, because of what do they call it, baiting. Right, when they baited a hide back then, they would use feces, dog feces, and it would be piles of it, and then they would let the hides putrefy so that the hair fell off. So you would purposely rot the hide, right, so that the hair fell off. They put them in stacks, and so the smell was probably pretty strong. The hair and the flesh come off easier like that. I'm not autistic at all about this stuff, I do think I'm on the spectrum. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, I've always told people, I've definitely believe I'm probably somewhere on that spectrum. No question. You got to see how into this stuff I get, and it happens so quickly. Blink of an eye. Bless my parents' hearts for their patience with me growing up. It would have been nice if they had it. Back then, if we had learning disabilities, it just meant we were defiant. If we learned differently or something like that. You could probably almost see how they make suede like this, right? This would be the suede side, and you see the color change. Really got to scrape those edges off because that's where the schmutz will hang out, right? The little bit of fat, skin, and flesh that you got off was going to stick to that edge, especially if you have hair on there. So you got to scrape it all the way to that edge. Mike Osborne, I do have lye, which is drain cleaner in here, but yeah, it should take the hair. It'll take the hair right off, Mike. I'm surprised that you would say that. Yeah, lye will take the hair off, dude. It's probably not a problem though. Like, most people take the hair off their pellets, right? So it's not a problem. But on these ones, and I've got lye. Like, I'll show you. I've got 3 different kinds of lye here, right? I'm not gonna lie, but I have some lye. I have 100, like, huge 50-pound thing of it. And then I have, this is a commercial lye, although I'm feeling this container right now. And it is completely solidified. So it's been opened. The seal's been broken, so it's been oxygenated, which is unsafe, completely unsafe. But that's good to know. Yeah, these muskrats, man, beautiful fur on these things. Uh-oh, someone's coming. Usually means I missed something. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you for my spectacles as well. What did Mike say? Do you sell any raccoon peckers? If so, I would like to buy 6, please. I did not keep. I only have the one male, and I did dispose of the I did dispose of the Wang. Although I've heard that the scrote totes are kind of popular. Guys will save the scrote and then they tan it and they turn it into like a little change purse, and it's very tender. The leather is super supple, but I've never done that, so please don't say that I would do that. Definitely, it's interesting. I'm just really captivated by the way that um, an animal is constructed. It's pretty interesting. Every animal is different. The predators and the scavengers and the grazers are all kind of different in the way they're built. Those raccoons have this thick layer of fat under the skin. It's really different, way different than a deer. Even this animal here, which is kind of more of a grazer, this animal, and I watch these every day because there's a family of these muskrats that's on my run route. And so there's a family. I watch them every day out in the field. They're not even scared of me. They'll be right out there while I'm doing it. But welcome, Mike Osborne, up there in North Dakota, up there in the frozen north of North Dakota. All right, let's moisturize this. I've got this brain emulsion in here. It's getting a little cool. I can feel some parts solidifying. Not good. Not good. Uh, I want to emulsify, get it like all over my hands, right? And then I want to try to apply it evenly. That's the goal here. You don't want to over oil, right? You don't want to pour it out on there and leave a whole bunch on the surface. You want to just work it. I did that a little too much. I put a little too much of a slop on my finished leather. Luckily, I think it still came out looking really good, just like oiled leather. But did darken the color several shades, as Carrie mentioned in her comment. Shout out Carrie. The color did go from like a chestnut to a chocolate by being oiled. Just the oiling process and the drying darkened it. I want these to be supple and be able to be worked onto um, some sort of garment, parka or gloves or mittens. So I need these pieces of fur to be supple and workable and not stiff. So I think brain tanning the rest of the way out would be the best way I can do that. And luckily, I saved the brains. As I told y'all, I didn't abandon brain tanning. It was just I was kind of I wanted to get a start on the bark tanning. I read the other day you can do a little bit of a hybrid, and you can always kind of go backwards. Only thing you can't really do is remove the tannins from the hide, and even some of that they say is possible early on. So by washing it and squeezing it out and like rebucking it, like putting it back through they use lime, but builder's lime, it's not really available over here. I have a big bucket of lye. That's probably what I'll use. I'll just make sure it's mixed really well before I do it. So the three things that preserve hair in the follicles of the animal are salt, alum, and tannins. So there's no the three things. If you're not getting one to work, you probably got to try another. Is what I'm gathering from this. So if I'm losing hair and I've got it in a tannin bath, right? I need to try something else, either salt or alum. Resalt it, re-dry it. Do alum. You can use. I'm using the stuff from Walmart. You probably need a bigger supply of it to do large pelts. I'm going to put some on here. This is the one I'm afraid is losing the most. What alum is an organic salt of aluminum that occurs naturally. I'm not a big fan, but it's one way to preserve the I gotta get that schmutz off that board. One way to preserve the hair on the hide, and it will wash out. So if I go back and put this in any kind of a aqueous solution, bye bye alum, it's gone. So this is only going to work if I stick to the brain tanning. Yeah, and I typically would like to avoid this, but it's not harsh chemicals like a chrome salt. You know, this is an edible. This is a food safe alum that you get from the spice aisle. Kind of comes out like sodium chloride, table salt. Yeah. I'll come back tomorrow and re-moisturize that. I want to see if I can preserve the hair by putting that alum on there. It's almost dried off here too, which is good. Like I said, been in a tanning bath there for about a week with that one. So if you buy fine leather goods for a family member this year, remember this process, you know? This is how the sausage is made. Well, this is the way the good sausage is made, I guess. The stuff now is not really made very well. Boom, 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 boom. All right. These are galvanized nails. I'm gonna pull this hide off and take a look at it on the beam here. Probably won't go a whole lot longer, but I want to inspect the flesh side of it. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink too. I'm parched. Got a foggy lens too. We've been and now we come a wassailing so plainly to be seen, because it's Christmas time and we travel far and near. May God bless you and send you a happy new year. We are not daily beggars. Y'all know that Christmas carol? They go from door to door. We are your neighbor's children who you have seen before. Because it's Christmas time and we travel far and near. I was trying to tell Miss Heather about that carol because sometimes it's misoginated or it's messed up, whatever the word is for that. When they mess something up that's not done right, you sometimes come, here we come, a wassailing so plainly to be seen. That's what you'll hear, right? But that's not the original melody. It's actually minor. We've been a while a wassailing among the fields so free. Actually, it's wandering. But, you know, I'm on the spot here. These are galvanized nails. Why would I use galvanized nails, you ask? That's a good question, I respond. Excellent question. The reason is because the iron oxide, any kind of ferrous metal that you use, will react to tannins by ebonizing. Does that make sense? Let me put that in plain English. If you put metal in it, or if it gets metal on it, it will turn black. The process is a chemical reaction called ebonization. We've been a while, one night, I'm on the field so free. And now we come to Wassam, so plainly to be seen. Because it's Christmas time, and we've traveled far and near. May God bless you and send you a happy new year. We are not daily beggars who go from door to door. We are your neighbor's children whom you have seen before. But it's Christmas time and we've traveled far and near. May God bless you and send you a happy new year. This pelt looks clean, man. Oh, you're welcome. Carrie said thanks for the concert. You're gonna get more of that because I have Christmas carols in my head and I'm in awkward silence all the time here, as you know. As you know, this is an awkward state of silence constantly. Trying to get my 100 likes. Sometimes those are by way of unlikes. All right, did I flay the tail out? Did I not flay the tail here? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that needs to be done. Daniel Gandara, friend of the program. Daniel also has a channel. Daniel has a good, like calming live stream voice. I don't just say this. I do believe Daniel will make it. It's the calmingness of his voice and he has a good niche. It's like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon cards. Like I literally put it on and chill, and I don't even know anything about either of those things. So shout out Daniel and appreciate you being here. Longtime friend of the program since the very beginning. Daniel Gandar. The beginning. This has had alum applied to it too, but I might actually buck this and get the hair off. So this may catch some drain cleaner. Magic the Gathering, which is actually a game I did play back in the day. Andrea Caccia. Hi, I'm Italian. Welcome, Andrea Caccia from, what was it? Benvenuto. Benvenuto. Ciao. I think I got it right. Let me know if I got that. Como se dice? Andrea Caccia. Ciao. I don't know. I like your audio. Daniel says working on the quality of it. Can't get the audio right. I actually like your audio quality, Daniel. Sounds good to me. And I know I brought it up to Heather that I said that like your voice is super soothing, and I like the quality of it. So this is the belly part where the trauma was, and I can kind of smell the evisceration, even though the salt kind of killed all of those bacteria and made it clean here. I can kind of tell. I was going to cut that whole end of the hide off. I did that with one I took today. Cut the whole bottom off the hide. I was like, I'm not even going to deal with that. It's just a section of it I'm not going to deal with. I kept it because I'm going to do something with it. I'm going to kind of experiment and see if, whoops, I banged my head on the weight bar. This is really a good coat, though. This is almost a shame to lose this fur. This was a big doe. Unfortunately, she was pregnant. So she was like bigger than the buck I found. Nature's ability to care for babies, like nature overcompensates. And so you have like, they are huge and they produce tons of milk, which I accidentally lacerated the mammary gland when I was, or breached the mammary gland when I was taking the deer apart. Magic the Gathering is like, it's got some similarities to D&D, but it's a card-based game. So D&D has like some roles, and then there's like kind of a map. I don't know if there's a map for Magic the Gathering. It's a game occurring um, um, in space that's not defined, I don't think, on in front of you, if that makes sense. Did I explain that correctly? I mean, there's a relationship between Magic the Gathering and D&D. Sometimes the same people play them. You know, like my brother played both for sure. Shout out Nick. He's not watching. If I even send him one of my videos, it has to be the raw video, not the YouTube video. He won't even click the video, which is good. Shout out to everybody. Let me tell you, give you a tip. If you're starting a YouTube channel, don't invite your friends first. Like it's generally bad form to do that, because they'll watch, like, because they're your friend. They have no idea how to give you feedback. And then often they'll tell you they watched it because they clicked on it and watched for 20 seconds. So like when I watch anybody else's videos, who sends me a video, I watch the entire thing, even if I don't like the subject matter. So if your friend sends you a video, and on the converse, on the other side of this, if your friend sends you a video, watch the entire video, even if you don't like it, because it hurts their channel if you don't. It hurts the duration, average view duration, right? And they do know, because there's 10 views and none of the 10 people watch the video all the way through, right? Shout out Nick. Nick's out there somewhere. He's out there somewhere. Probably lamenting the Vikings record or something. Well, that was easy. Carrie said, my oldest grandson plays D&D and I bought him some things for Christmas. Don't say what they are, because your oldest grandson could be watching. He could be one of the 97 people that is watching right now. Now, the odds of that are, let's see, about 100. It's about 300 million people. What's 100 and 300 million? I can't do that in my head. Oh, that's 300,000. Is it 1 in 300,000 or is it 1 in 3 million? That's his odds of seeing this right now. I think it's 1 in 30 million probably, right? Multiply by 10. It's a multiply by 100. Multiply by 300. Yeah, I think it's 1 in something like that. Yeah, he's at school and he's not west. That's right. It's still 2:32 there on the West Coast. Shout out West Coast. Welcome. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. Carrie's up there at the Pacific Northwest. We've got friends that came in from Ireland. We got friends that come in here from all kinds of places. Thank you for all the likes, everybody. We're over 100 likes today. This is still supple, even though it's dry. It's very interesting, the texture of this hide right now. I'm kind of impressed with the way that it feels. I might actually wash this guy and brine it and actually try to keep the hair. Look how thick the hair texture is on that, man. That may have been the one I should kept the hair on. It may have to do with she was pregnant, so she had to be warmer, so her hair grew in thicker. Makes sense. Just like women get great skin when they get pregnant. This is sad. And obviously, you guys know I didn't kill this deer. This deer was killed by a car. So it's not something I did. I would not shoot a pregnant deer. But her coat is so nice, man. She's so beautiful. Every deer, I appreciate their individuality like a human. They all like have a spirit. I think their spirit carries in the pelt too. So, if you wear it, respect it. That's like, look how warm that would be. That's got to be warm, dude. It's like the longest pelt I've had. and it's all dry right now. There's just one spot here. It may have been where she got hit. She had evisceration of the guts too, but her break was, what did I say it was that killed her? Punctured lung. She had a punctured lung. A rib went through her lung. That was what it was. Buffalo Bill likes nice skin. That's right. It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Daniel Gandara, 10 Dad's Workshop memberships. Let's see who the people are. Let's see. Oh, those, hey, Gundog got one. Niku 22225. These are awesome, dude. 10X shooters. Tree Stamp 7249. Davy Jokes, appreciate you. Zero Toxic. Wow, look at that, man. Shout out. I need a big drum roll for that, for Daniel, for that 10 gift memberships. Much appreciated right there. Daniel Ganjar, check out his channel, as I mentioned before. Don't mind interrupting the live stream with the old drum roll. Here it goes. That's one. I gotta do it 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 more, 4, 7, if I'm counting right, 8, and then we have 2 more, 9, and 1 more for that 10th membership. Sorry, that was terrible. These aren't drumsticks. You see the different sizes? Sorry, it's a challenge. Everything I do is a challenge, guys. Everything I do is a challenge. Daniel, I take my hat off to you. I show my appreciation to you. I am humbled. I am truly humbled. I am truly humbled by your gesture of kindness and support shown for my channel. That's so very kind of you. Now I'm going to take my scraping knife and I am going to go on the back. And by the way, if any of the rest of you would like to become members, you just tap that little $ in the bottom corner, and that's how you become a member to my channel. And we do members. I put members only videos out. Some of the videos that are a little more edgy end up only members can see them. Sometimes when the YouTube tries to demonetize my stuff, I give it to my members. I don't ever take it off because I don't like when they limit my free speech. But I give it to members. I try to tailor make stuff for members. And so any of those folks, of which I didn't recognize many of the names, but I did remember Michigan, Gundog there. He was up in here yesterday participating in class, a class participant he was. So, oh, by the way, yesterday we were working on this, which is a slicker, right? Kind of looks like a really cool, like a vampire knife, right? But it's a slicker, and it's super crude and terrible. But you got to try to build stuff, you know? I also want to keep my galvanized nails where I'm not going to step on them and end up in the doctor's office. Also want to throw this disclaimer out there, guys. Always follow all the local laws in your area. Do not collect animals if it is illegal in your state. Many states have laws against collecting roadkill, okay? It's not legal in every state. It's just becoming legal in some because they realize it actually helps them out. But if it's not legal where you are, please don't do it. And on account of me, I'm not ever going to tell somebody to break their local laws. Also, viewer discretion is always advised on my channel because we are adults and we talk about adult things. We tried to keep it friendly, family friendly, but when some of this stuff can be, for sensitive viewers or people with weak stomachs, it can be tough, especially for those people who I've lost in the last. I want to pour a little liquor out for Smoke. and all of the other people I lost when I started doing hides. This one's for you, Smoke. If I could smoke legally in North Carolina, I would smoke one for you, man. But I miss you, bro. I miss you. I know you can't stomach the animal stuff. But Smoke, if you're out there, listen, Smoke. If you're out there, you're probably using animal products anyways. So don't be a hypocrite. And I'll see you on here as soon as you get over that stuff. And you know, stuff I say is true. I'm talking to Smoke, by the way. This is all out Smoke. Stuff I say is true, and it turns out later you find out what Calvin is saying is true, like running your live stream vertical and how that's benefited you. You're welcome for all of that, but you need me to do that, so you got to come back. Come back, Smoke. Come back, Smoke, and all the other people I scared away. Or don't. I love y'all anyway. It's fine. Because it's Christmas time, and we thank you, Daniel. Shout out Daniel. Appreciate you, man. You can come to my house, Daniel. I have a garage that you can use for cleaning. Daniel said we just cleaned the garage the weekend after Thanksgiving. Daniel said what a surprise. He keeps his galvanized nails on the floor. Don't do that, Daniel. That's that. See how I give good advice? Like, that's the value right there. You just got your money's worth right there with that. So you know to pick your galvanized nails up on the floor. Don't step on them, you know? You know what I miss about teaching that I can't do on live stream? Raise your hand prompts. Like, raise your hand if you've been in an auto accident. Raise your hand if your grandmother, if you have a relative that was in a war. Raise your hand if you ever went trapping. Raise your hand if you ever eaten an animal that's been trapped by somebody. Raise your hand if you know who Rosa Parks is. Raise your hand if, you know, I love those, man. Raise your hand moments. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The fine salt, y'all. The fine salt is the best. Don't ever get the rock or the ice cream salt. It's worthless for this stuff. It just doesn't do it. Man, this thing's almost clean, dude. I'm gilding the lily right here. What's in the chat? Kosef Starag said, I want a fox pelt for my couch and maybe a rug, but not sure how much to spend and where. I subbed, so hopefully one day I'll just get stuff through him. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't sound like. Are you in the U.S., Kosef? I mean, I certainly don't mind sending things out, but sometimes countries don't mind not giving them to the people either. I don't have a fox yet. I have seen some beautiful ones. There's one in my mom's neighborhood, mom and dad's neighborhood, that I found when I was on a run. Most beautiful fox I'd ever seen in my life. Perfect. But haven't seen one since, really. And you know, you do find them occasionally. Just like I don't have a beaver. I want a beaver. I want a fox. I want a coyote, and I would say I want a bear, but I don't want to see the bear have to get hit by a car, really, especially a baby or something. Though I would still take that. I would definitely take it and preserve the animal. Sometimes now I kind of feel like a animal forensic anthropologist or a forensic investigator, because now I kind of like doing an autopsy. You know, I don't take the brain. I don't open the brain case, but well, not all the time. Sometimes I do. Yeah, actually, I can't rule that out either. I might do that. Today I learned a lot from that deer. I knew where it had been previous to that. It's crazy. You can kind of figure out stuff like an accident investigator, how the deer got hit. Today I realized that the deer I picked up got hit and it folded. It got hit in its collarbone or in its pelvis. Its pelvis was shattered. So it got hit in the pelvis and it folded it in and then it broke its collarbone. So the deer did like a C shape because it got hit so hard. It was like probably at an angle and it bent it in. I mean, it's horrible. And the humans get hit by cars too. This trauma, people don't realize they're driving around a gigantic weapon. And, I feel badly for the animals and anybody who deals with that kind of physical trauma. I hope they don't suffer. But all I can do is make use of what I find. Mm-hmm. So I have another hide I got to put up on that board. So I need those nails again now anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Carrie said, "Will you be on tomorrow?" Yes, Carrie, I will be. Carrie said, "I'm going to toss the baton to Kevin and go finish up a project I'm doing." Good, Carrie. I want you to finish your project. Will I be on tomorrow? Yes, I do. I do try to be on Saturday. I'm going to try to be on in the morning too. Sorry, no, it's scrolling. Hopefully y'all get this. Yes, I will try to be on. I try to come on at the time of like American Woodshop would on PBS, like the way that I use PBS for my SEO research. Thank you, PBS. So like I try to go on similar time during the week. Hopefully tomorrow will be closer to 10:30 my time, but that would be a little early for you. Let's say I do like 12:30. What time works for you, Carrie? What is this person? Porco Dio. What does that even mean? What is this people? Like fat pig? Sorry, I gotta look that up, y'all. I don't know what that is. Is a strong, blasphemous Italian curse word literally meaning God is a pig. Ooh, oh, sorry. You can go to a different channel. That's why they're there. You don't have to be on the internet. Bless your little Italian heart. I've never heard that, dude. You would think on all the Sopranos I've watched, you would have heard that one by now, right? Bye, Carrie. We love you. Unless something happens, there's sometimes possible that I miss the Saturday stream, but I try to do 6 days a week. So we'll try to be on tomorrow, and hopefully you'll get a notification. They get a little stingy with my notifications when they're worried about my controversial content. I think that is a thing here. This flesh here is a little funky, right? This dark red stuff that you see, Porco Dio. It is super gross. Porco Dio. You see how I said it so Latin? I sounded like a real Latin when I said that. Porco Dio, bro. That is a horrible curse. They said extremely blasphemous. Google said that. It is an extremely blasphemous Italian curse, meaning God is a pig. How would they say that? If you're mad at me, talk to me. Don't blame it on God, man. God ain't have nothing to do with it. Direct your anger properly, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's kind of rough right there. I don't know. Maybe this right here. I'm gonna get this on the end of the beam here. Seems like a little fatty spot. There's a spot I found on another hide of mine where it had grease burn. I had never seen that. It's when there's a fatty spot like subdermal fat and it sits on the hide, it like spoils the hide. It's crazy. I didn't even think a thing could happen like that, but it does. What I need for this is a courier's knife. It's a curved shaped knife. And you take it over the spot, it'll cut those spots off. But like, I don't have one of those. Carrie said, give Calvin a hug from me to you, Heather. So you owe me a hug, Heather. Thank you, Carrie. And I will say, I love you, Carrie, when she hugs me. It's as if we have your face on an iPad or something, and I'm hugging the robot that you're driving around. That's what we'll pretend that. Or she's probably already gone by now. I don't care. She'll probably watch this. Some of them watch these. I bet it's tough to grow up in Italy, a vegetarian or a vegan. Even worse to be celiac, probably, but I know they have celiacs there. This is a really bad spot. So if I have to get rid of this entire spot, I would not be surprised. But it looks like maybe some of this tissue will come off here. Yep, it is. It is coming off. I just got to get up under there. Yep. Maybe scraping is the best solution, though. It'll probably bring that up. What a weird spot, man. When the animal was fresh, I couldn't understand the spot. Yes, I feel like I can get the skin. I can pull up a huge sheet, like piece of it here, if I can get under it. But I don't want to spend too much time on. That's kind of boring. Not good TV right there. But this is a funky spot, and this looks similar to a spot that grease burned on my other hide. So I'm a little bit urgent to get this spot cleaned up here. Let's see, I got another bone scraper here that might work for this application. Raja, welcome. What's up, Raja? I would generally not recommend doing this with a sharp knife. Really stubborn spot. Raja Bindigohana, wood turner. Shout out to Raja if you are like wood turning or you're into, you want to know how it's done in the other part of the world and how your handles are made for your axes and your different tools. You definitely need to check out Raja's channel. This is a beautiful coat of fur. I really like, every time I see one of these, I don't think I've ever seen one quite this thick on a deer. It's like a bear. It's got a bear thickness to it, man. And I'm really, really hesitant to get rid of that. I'm gonna wait till those viewers like populate back up, because when they see the fur like this, they really like that. That's something they like. So I'm gonna put it up here for a second, let that pick up some views while I say some stuff to the audience. First of all, always follow the laws in your jurisdiction. Viewer discretion is always advised here, but we don't mistreat animals. This is not an animal I killed. Okay, it's just an animal I found. This one happened to be pregnant, so it's a really sad story. Obviously, I would never take down a pregnant deer. A person with morals doesn't really do that. So, or a deer that's nursing, which I immediately knew the deer had to be nursing. But I'm looking at the back of this. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I want to shout out Heather, my right hand, my other half. Carrie was in here. Raja, shout out. All my members. Daniel, 10 gift memberships given out today. Shout out to Daniel for that. Kosef Starag, welcome, dude. He asked, do I sell hides? At this moment, just email me, dadsworkshopcalvin@yahoo.com, Kosef. Email me, dadsworkshopcalvin@yahoo.com. We can talk, but everything's always for sale in my world. I got to pay child support, so everything is always for sale for the right price. Kosef Stareg. So shout out to you. We got Daniel in the house. Appreciate Daniel being here. Daniel, longtime member and friend of the program. Everybody else who came up in here today, it looks like my glove fingers aren't going to let me do everybody in here. I didn't see like some of the regulars I normally see. Oh, wow, it feels so good in my hands. That pelt's is really promising. Yeah, this was it's a whitetail doe here. This is a buck. This was from a 12-point buck, or 10-point, 11-point, somewhere in there. Big deer, big deer. What I do need to do, maybe while I have y'all on here, I don't like to let my numbers get too whittled down too low. Generally, once they start going down a lot, I'm like, all right, they're telling me it's time to go. Otherwise, I need to take another pelt and nail it up to this board. I'll probably do that off alive. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate you. It is 6 o'clock in Eastern time on a Friday night, so not shocked that the numbers are retreating a little bit. Thank you for being here. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. Become a member. Throw us a super chat. Check out our other videos. Check my long form videos out. I'm making one about this experience right now that I'm going through. I'm a person that always just jumps into things head first and does them. I don't ask questions. I don't ask advice usually. Well, I do ask advice, but you know, that kind of stuff. Appreciate you being here. I appreciate these animals and what they give me too. That's not something that I overlook. Each one of them has spirit, and I understand that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. My name's Calvin. Shout out to all my people. This is Dad's Workshop. Do the next right thing. Tell someone you love them. Do something nice for somebody. We're out of here.